people, what's going on? What's going on? We got Kayleen and Rashidi in the building from RKT Appraisals. What's going on, guys? How you been? How's everything going?
Everything's good, man. Another day, another dollar.
Everything is good.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Niggas be lying, but
yeah, stupid.
Nah, everything good though. You here, so everything is good.
Exactly.
Once you're alive, everything is up from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, feel me.
Exactly.
Crazy.
So today we're talking about how generational wealth is fucking up these youths and shit. Is that what we going?
Rashidi, talk about the original title.
Right.
Yeah, the original title's stop making these kids' life so easy that they think life is easy. It's messing with everybody's pockets.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I just chalked it up to how generational wealth can be bad for your kids. Like, because a lot of people think, oh shit, my bad. A lot of people think that it's always the best thing to like want to leave your kids a whole bunch of money. You understand?
Right. Mm.
And in a lot of ways, I mean, yeah, it could be a benefit, but it also could be a detriment because, I said it on the show. I think I said it last week too. I was like, there's this thing I heard where they said that, strong people are built in tough times and weak people are built in good times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So under the assumption of that ideal, you realize that, you leave your kids all this money and they don't have to work for shit.
Right.
You're basically ensuring that the next generation of your family is going to be a bunch of bitch ass niggas.
That's facts.
You see what I'm saying? But let me play this clip real quick with Steve Harvey.
I told my kids, I said, listen, man, y'all might as well understand this. When me and your mama died, when you come to the reading of the will, there's going to be some shocks. Because I'm telling you right now, me and your mama is spending 85% of all the money I'm making. I have a friend of mine who's a billionaire. Each one of his kids is in his will for $500 million apiece.
Wow.
Each one of his kids. He got 3 kids. He's already carved out $500 million for each one of them. So, Steve, what are you leaving your children? Not $500 million. Well, what do you think a good number is? I was thinking about like 50. Well, 50 million is a good number. No, 50,000. 50 million. Buying airplanes and they're not 50,000. Start yourself a little t-shirt business. I told my kids, listen.
So basically, he's like, ain't nobody gonna be buying planes and living big off of my shit. I'll leave you a little bit of startup money so you could like 50 G's so you could still go ahead and do what you got to do for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And it's and I've heard other celebrities say these too. I heard this is a guy named Louis C.K. If anybody's heard of him, he's a comedian. And he said the same shit. He said, I ain't leaving my kids shit. I'm spending everything. And he's a multimillionaire. You know what I'm saying? He's done movies. He makes millions of dollars off his comedy and all this. And I think he has 2 daughters. And he's like, I'm not leaving my kids anyway. Anything because they asked him why. He was like, have you ever met a rich kid who's not a fucking asshole?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, I want my kids to work for what they got so they could understand, like I understood what it meant to work for what I have. You understand what I'm saying? So, but what do y'all think about it?
Well, I want to kind of piggyback off what you were just saying, right? But I think that's the parents' fault. 100% is the parents' fault. Here's the reason why. As you are like, you're already rich. You have children, right? It is your responsibility as the parent to not just give your kids any and everything. Let them work for it. You're naturally going to leave your child something. That's not every parent, whether you're rich or poor, you're going to want to leave your child something behind, right? So if the whole purpose of a big purpose of life is to pass on the resources, pass on the information to the next generation. So if you yourself decide, look, I'm not going to leave my child something or leave my child enough, then you failed on some level as a parent. So for the child to I say not being appreciative of the money and how it works and how hard the parent worked for it, that's the parent's fault. It's not the child's fault.
Right.
That's my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the piggyback off of Kaylene, that definitely is true. It does come down to the parents. I mean, it's one of those things where we all touched on all the topics about making it too easy. In that case, Miles, you're talking about leaving all this money for kids and them not appreciating it. But what the crazy part is, the generation now is even worse, because that's one thing. Because the other thing is, now in today's generation, because all these kids have all this technology and all this type of stuff, life is way easier for kids. They don't have to think. A lot of kids these days lack common sense, and this affects the pockets of everybody. Kids these days don't know to do anything. I mean, a kid in today's day and age, they get lost in the wood, their cell phone die, they gonna die. You know what I mean? That's how bad it is these days. So it's really one of those things where we come from an era where now it's mental health awareness is very serious and stuff like that. But now it's gotten taken to the level where we give kids too many options and too many choices, and parents are not really parenting like they should, in terms of they don't want to upset their kids. Asking your kid when they want to eat, what they want to eat,
right?
It's taking it too far.
Yes, I agree.
Side note, bro. Side note.
That's crazy.
Do you ever remember your mama asking you what you wanted to have for dinner?
Hell
No.
Yo, I got a nephew and my sister. Every meal. Hey, so what do you want for breakfast? What do you want for lunch? What do you want to have for dinner?
When did that even become a question?
Right.
That's a statement. This is what you're having, or else you don't eat.
You're right. Exactly.
That's it.
Nigga, all I heard was, Richie, come, dinner ready. That's all I fucking heard. What the fuck are you talking about? What would you like to have? You think there's a menu out here, nigga? Dinner is ready. Sit your ass down. You don't know what's on the only thing you know is what you smell. You like, it smell like chicken, so maybe nigga, sit your bitch ass down and eat what I've made.
Right.
I
Exactly.
think Rashidi was right as far as like the options that the children have today is way too much. And the thing is, I think it's important to understand that it's okay for so, for example, it can't be open-ended to where, what you can make a child decide if they want this or they want that. But when you make a child decide that their options are endless, like they can do whatever,
Right.
they're not wise enough to be making those decisions. You want your child to be raised to where they can still have a choice to an extent, depending on what it is.
Right.
But I think that like parents are worried about being their child's friend versus their actual parent. So then when they get older, as they're getting older, certain things that they shouldn't have a choice on, they have a choice on, and it makes absolutely no sense. And that's where the unappreciation starts to develop. When things that they're not supposed to have a choice on, they have a choice on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I wilded out a little bit. We ain't even get to hear what Lucario had to say. What's your opinion on the whole leaving your kid shit?
Well, the thing is, I definitely agree that you shouldn't leave them. I don't think you should not leave them anything. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely think, you should leave them enough to where they still need to do shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I feel like. It's like, you got to leave them enough to where they got to do shit, because the problem would be is that if you left them a lot of stuff and then they lost it. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have the strength to do anything. So they'll really be fucked up in the game. You understand what I'm saying? And what happens is that a lot of times when people come from a privileged position and shit, when anything gets even a little bit hard, you understand what I'm saying? They wild out and they lose their mind. And this is like, even for example, this is why you'll have some people who will go crazy and commit suicide because they haven't had enough like adversity in their life. So any little thing seems like the world is ending. So they gotta fucking kill themselves. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right.
So on some real shit, that's why there's so many bitch ass people in the world today. That's why, I mean, if you look at all this cancel culture shit, everybody's getting offended by everything. Everybody's feelings are hurt when somebody coughs or sneezes. It's like it's literally because our lives are too good. Like on some real shit, we don't deserve all the shit we have today. like in some respects. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? For the fact that so many people have so much to complain about.
Right.
It's like if you really look at look, guys, think about this. All four of us are hours away from each other. And we can easily come together and have a discussion, right? And put it on the internet and use it as a way to market business and all that type of shit. Just like that.
Right. Exactly.
And niggas want to complain and be like, yo, the sound quality's whack, man. Yo, Kaleem is using his fucking cell phone and his avatar is smaller than everybody else's. What the fuck is that? You know what? I'm offended that Kaleem is using his fucking cell phone while the other three niggas is using their computer. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up what Kaleem is doing, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, dumb shit. You understand? And it's just so interesting how you know your life is good when the shit you complain about is the dumbest fucking shit.
Yeah,
exactly. I remember he talked about that he was like how he was on the airplane, and this dude was using his phone, and then the internet stopped working or some shit, and the dude was going crazy like, oh my god, I can't believe this, and he's like, bro, you're in an airplane using the internet, like grateful that it worked for 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? But that's what happens in that's human nature, to get comfortable in a certain position, and then therefore you don't necessarily have perspective on things as a whole. So it's like you're so spoiled that little things that shouldn't even be a big deal become a big deal because you're so spoiled. You know what I'm saying? That's what will happen, where a lot of times where people just pass down the money. I think what the if you're rich or you got a lot of money, you got business or whatever, I think what parents should pass down to their kids, they should have like some sort of booklet or manual or a guide that teaches them how to make money versus giving them the money. You feel what I'm saying? I think that would be better. Be like, look, when I die, in the will, it's going to give them a freaking workbook that says, look, this is something I came up with to teach you how I got this money. So the company is going to have money because the company is going to run and do what it do. I'm going to give you $50,000 and good luck. You know what I'm saying?
Make your own company.
The crazy part is, so I agree with everything you guys are saying, but I think it goes back to Kaleem's point where it comes down to the parents. And did a little research on it, and studies really show how your parents structure your life is pivotal, how you perform in life. So it goes back to everything you saying, Ms. Lucario, being spoiled and everything like that. And that's why it is about, you can't make your kids' life easy, and it's on the parents, because the reality of the situation is, if kids today have a cell phone, a tablet, you know what I mean? First off, they're not connecting to you anymore, so they don't know how to socialize with people, which is a big thing in the social media era, because your kids got tablets and cell phones, and that keeps them busy all day, every day. So they don't know how to socialize. So that interaction piece, you're already losing right there. Just as far as doing chores and making sure kids earn everything they get and understand that.
Yes.
So I'm completely for leaving a kid everything. If you have life insurance policies and you worth $10 million, leave your child everything. The reality of the situation is your child's not going to appreciate that. If you didn't do your job as a parent and you made their life super easy, they won't know how to appreciate that. But if you actually teach them what that all means, they will appreciate it. They won't appreciate it as much as you do, because you lived a certain past life and you had to do certain things to get to that level. So they'll never appreciate it to the maximum you will, but they will appreciate it if you actually take out the time to actually show them. Because, perfect example. All the points you brought up, Ms. Lucario, kids, anything like the airplane thing, that's a real thing. With my son, I mess up his life not mess up his life, but interrupt his life all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be sitting watching TV, have a cup of juice, just treat him like Pops from Friday. Like, a cup of juice will be half a centimeter away from me. He's upstairs. I will call him out of his room just to pass it to me. Not because I can't reach it. He gets, Dad, this is ridiculous. This is right here. You say it all the time. But I'm like, listen, you got a tablet, right? Yeah. You got a cell phone, right? Yeah. You got your TV and you watch it? Yeah. All right, pass me that cup. Life is not like that. You're gonna have interruptions in life. Things are not gonna go perfect. And it just gives them the mindset that no matter how sweet things are going, it can be taken away from you at any given time. You know what I mean? And also do things where I just take stuff away from, like, you know what I mean? I'm just take this little tablet away from, why? is the end of the world, but you know what I mean. Like just to let them know it's okay. We driving somewhere, right? Nah, you can't. We driving to Connecticut. I'm in Jersey. I'm gonna take the tablet away from about an hour. Look outside the window, but it's boring. It's okay. You got to break it up because that's the way life is. It can't be all cookie cutter. Life is just about you and you just watching TV and tablets and cell phones all day, every day. I'm going to let you enjoy those things, but I'm also let you know that can be taken away at any given time, and those things cost money. So you got to learn how to appreciate those values, because what's happening in today's day and world, just like you said, Mr. Lucario, that kid about the airplane thing where it's just completely unreasonable. It's like, oh, it's the end of the world. I can't even use the internet for 30 seconds.
Right.
That person turns into an adult that don't know how to socialize, don't know how to handle adversity, and fold like a cheap tent whenever you run into problems because they don't know how to handle any other thing, because these parents made their life so easy, like Katie said, trying to be their friend, right? All that type of stuff. You know what I mean? That's why you got to break it up. You got to break the cycle. It's okay to say no. You know?
I would, in my mind, I was trying to figure out what if you could come up with like a creative way to, maintain generational wealth for the family, but come up with like another way to teach, like hardcore values. Like create the family's rich, but on the other end though, we have to create like a culture of the family, like maybe hire a fucking drill sergeant, to force niggas to wake up early and you know what I'm saying? Like plan, like go, like make everybody live on a fucking farm. Like, look, you ain't never got to worry about money, but your ass got to get up and make this farm produce something. Like
exactly.
Like you said.
Or create some type of incentive program where if the money's waiting for you, but you have to start a business and make this amount of money. And when you reach that point, then I reward you with them, like something.
Right, exactly.
Like put the money in some type of trust that they can't touch until age 40 or some shit. You understand? Where it's like, because look, I believe that if I work hard, there's a part of me that wants my family to be cool and taken care of.
Right.
You understand? I want my family to be mentally and emotionally strong, but at the same time, I don't really want them, like, for example, flying commercial if they don't got to.
I get you.
Like on that ego shit, I'm like, shit, yeah, I want my great grandkids to fly in private jets, nigga. Hell yeah, I want that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't want my great grandkids to be assholes and to not appreciate life and to not appreciate what I've actually left for them and just feel like, oh, well, this is entitled to me because of my last name type shit. You understand? So,
but that's why I think that it should be something where, it definitely should be somewhere things have to be earned. Every time when something has to be earned, people develop more character. Like I was listening to that comedian Ryan Davis on Breakfast Club, and he was saying how what's good about social media is that, people could go out there and do their thing, but he said that it fucks up quality. So he was saying that because everybody could just do whatever, it's like you can just do whatever and just keep doing whatever. He was saying how what he wishes was that he said that he wishes that everybody on social media could only be followed by 100 people, or you only get 100 followers. So then that would mean that you, like, if I want to follow somebody, I gotta really fuck with them, because you know what I'm saying. And then that would make the person that's creating the content work harder to be quality. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, so each person only had 100 people they could follow. You understand what I'm saying? They would be more picky about who they follow, and then the person that's making the content would need to earn that follow. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the same thing with this, where it's like, if you don't feel like if you don't earn the money, if you don't earn the success, if you don't earn it, it means nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't feel it, and then therefore you're already at a sort of like this height of expectation already. You know what I'm saying? Because you got so much shit going on that, you know what I mean? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Now it makes sense because of quality. There's so the quality is trash because of the quantity in social media. Now I do agree with that 100%. I think when it comes to the children, it's a very delicate situation where you have to start as young. Like I like what Rashidi was saying, as far as what he does, he takes things away from his son randomly. I think from the beginning, there should be a level of accountability for children and certain standards for children.
Right.
And that can be in anything. Like that can be as simple as, okay, chores. If you don't do your chores, there's going to be something that the child wants. Children always want something. If you don't get these chores done, you don't get this. If you already play basketball, right? Let's say the kid plays sports, right? He or she plays basketball.
Right.
If you don't go outside and you don't shoot 100 buckets for the day, you don't get this reward. You get what I'm saying? And that's apart from practice. You get what I'm saying? Like it should be a certain level of accountability that we have for children, and that's where that's where they appreciate their earnings, because they don't understand money when they're children.
Right.
They just understand possessions and material. You get what I'm saying? So you start off by rewarding them when they do the things that they're supposed to do.
Right.
Because and that's the biggest issue. Us parents, we give them things without them even working for it.
Right, because they don't understand the concept of getting something because you gave something. They just keep getting. So it's like
exactly
that's the problem with it. And so if a person's rich or they just pass their money to their kids, they've just been in a state of getting, and they don't understand the concept of giving.
Right.
So therefore, they're just all, you know what I'm saying, fucked up in the game, especially if things go a certain way, they're not going to know how to get, because they just think getting just happened automatically. They didn't realize that their parents had to work and give to get those riches or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Correct. Absolutely. And I also think that it's a different time. So I think the teaching methods have to also match up and be a little different too. You know what I mean? There's more entrepreneurs now than there's ever been. Right. So then parenting has to be a little different when it comes to children, because now you can literally show your child that you're working for yourself, or you're trying to build something, so they can see the growth.
Right.
Versus you just going to a regular job. They don't really see that. They just see mommy and daddy going to work and coming home. So they don't understand the actual hard work that's being put in. You know what I'm saying? So the level of appreciation is depreciated at that point. Right. You get what I'm saying? And so that itself changes things. So you have to, because times change and times are different, your teaching methods on how you parent and how you reward your child also has to be different as well.
Right. That's facts.
Those are some excellent points, man. Some excellent points, man. It's definitely true, man. To Katie's point of just making them earn things, and to Mr. Lucario's point, you can't just keep giving things. I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, we all on this panel, you know what I mean, we all have like West Indian backgrounds and know how it goes, man. I had to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning blasting church music and polishing the whole house. You know what I mean? Like no matter what. So you know what I mean? I appreciate certain stuff. You know what I mean? Like. And to that point, you know, just recently, a perfect example, literally yesterday, I sold one of my mom's old furnitures where, you know, you had the plastic on it. We ain't sit on it in the living room or nothing like that. And we had that for 28 years. And I just sold that for a good piece of change. Why? Because it's taken care of. Quality. You know, and it goes hand in hand. And you know, it goes to the point of take care of things and having quality. You know what I mean? And that's huge, man. Because and you think about it, with our parents, because we couldn't really talk back or anything like that, that's how we really learned how to negotiate in schools, which translate into life. Because we couldn't, you know what I mean, couldn't get our parents to budge with us. Right. So when we got to school, we hustled and negotiated with all other kids to get other things, you know what I mean? Whether it's snacks, money, playing dice, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? That's how we learn from that. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Me learn how to earn everything. I got to earn everything in my house. So when I get outside, I'm definitely going to hustle everybody because I can't get it at home. I can't hustle my mom's. So now I'm going to hustle everybody else. And that turns into real people knowing how to run businesses and things like that. But in today's day and world, a lot of time, kids don't have any of that type of knowledge. They don't know how to find nothing. They don't know how to negotiate. None of that type of stuff. Because like you said, Ms. Lucario, if a kid is getting, they don't really understand the whole concept. They just think everything's supposed to be given. Right. You know, I think to Katie's point, they're not earning nothing. You know what I mean? So just getting and not earning nothing. Life is easy.
Right. I think that all kids should watch, or it should be mandatory for them to watch The Karate Kid. Because that's serious. Because I remember watching The Karate Kid, and when he was telling them to clean the fucking car and wax on and wax off, and I remember watching it and saying, yo, when the fuck he gonna teach him some karate? You know what I'm saying? and then when the scene came where he was like, do the wax on, I said, oh shit, I guess shit blew my mind. I was like, I was like, yo, that shit blew my mind. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And I think that's important because it's like the metaphor of like, I think people don't, that's the reason why people don't want to work for nothing or do anything, because I think sometimes they don't understand the benefit of what the work means and where it's and what it's used for and what it's going, where it's going to get you, and the reason why you're doing the work in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So he had to struggle and go through all of that shit, and then to the point where it was like, oh, this was the reason why I was doing this. And I think it's that aha moment that most people don't get when they're just giving shit. You feel what I'm saying? It's like when you're actually like having to do something to create something or to get something or to get somewhere or to be successful by putting in some type of work, it gives you perspective on like how important it is to be grateful for what you have. You see what I'm saying? Because if I'm rich and I give my kids money, they're never going to be grateful for the money. They're just like, oh, this is just what it is. We're like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, just give me some money and let me do what I got to do. But if it's like, if you had to earn it, if you had to put in work, it's like the money just means it just means way more. You just like, it's a totally different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, excellent point.
Mhm.
Excellent point.
Yeah, that's some real shit.
Sometimes I want to have kids just so I can do what most parents are not doing.
Mm.
You know, because when I see my nephew and the way my sister treat my nephew, I'm like, man, if I had a kid, I would never ask that little motherfucker what he want to eat. Are you kidding? Like, what? I would never.
Right.
Bro, like, I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we was talking about it might have been Rashidi, I'm not even sure, but we was talking about Jordans.
Mm.
And I told him, I'm like, bro, I never owned a pair of Jordans. I got one pair of Jordans in my life, and I had to graduate high school to get that pair of Jordans.
Wow, that's crazy.
And for some reason, I've never been able to buy a pair of Jordans myself. Because by the time I was able to afford a pair of Jordans, it turned into this whole limited release. You got to wait online, and then you got to buy it on eBay for $500. No, it's like I can't, bro. You know them blue pennies, the blue foam posit pennies, the one that look like a boot,
right?
Bro, you don't know what a fantasy that was for me as a kid. I wanted them pair of shoes so fucking bad, bro. And now you still can't just get them. You got to go to one of them sites like StockX or whatever, and it costs like almost $400. And I'm like, damn. You understand? But the thing is, the reason why I'm even talking about that is because so many kids who grew up in that lifestyle where shit meant like the shit that means something to you, it means nothing to somebody else.
Right.
You understand? Like think about when you was younger, right? And then you have to sleep with a fan. Right? Like if you lived in Jamaica, like when I visited my family in Jamaica, nigga, we sleeping with the fan on us.
Right.
And now it's like, do you know how happy and appreciative I am that I could go to the wall and press a button and make it cooler?
Yeah.
Right.
Like what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Nigga, like, just certain things, bro, certain things that we take for granted. And it's like, like I said, you go through hard times, you go through tough shit to really appreciate, they say there's another saying that says, the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Right. So that basically means, the more you got to fight for shit, the harder you got to work for something. When you finally get it, it feels much more satisfying to actually acquire the thing, and you appreciate it more. You never take it for granted. You understand? So, I mean, I don't know how because everybody want to be rich, but it's like, in one hand, I don't want my kids to turn out to be soft assholes and non-productive members of society. But on the other hand, I don't want all of my work to go to waste either. You understand? I would still like to know that my kids are in some respect taken care of. You understand? So I don't know. Maybe I'll set up my money so they can only get it when they retire or something like that. I don't know. I really don't know.
I think what's important is finding that balance. And what I mean by that is that, like Miles, like you said, you want your children to have, right? But at the same time, you don't want it to be where they're basically unappreciative of what they have, right? So you gotta kind of like people who have or comfortable or rich, naturally they're showing their kids what they have, right? Or how their lifestyle is going to be. But what a lot of rich people and comfortable people don't do is they don't show their kids the other side.
Right.
They don't show their kids the poor side. They don't show their kids that people are struggling.
Right.
So then the rich child, it's not real to him. That's not reality. And that's one of the biggest issues is that that's where the appreciation would come in, but they don't see it. That's not part of their life.
Right.
And the parents created that. So the thing is, it's a fine line because you want to give your child everything naturally as a parent. You want to give them everything.
Right.
But where the problem lies is that you're giving them everything.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And so then when there's nothing left. So then when they see they're not going to see the other side, and then like I said, the level of appreciation is not there because of that. Like for example, my girl, she has 2 kids, right? So my girl, she spoils her children, right? Like I said, rightfully so. But then what I implement is that I let the kids spend the night at their friend's house from time to time. Why? Because what happens is when they don't have, their friends may not have certain things that they may have. So then when they're over there, it's a different level of interaction. It's a different level of communication. It's a different level of giving and receiving. So then when they see that, it starts to click for them a little bit like, whoa, okay, maybe everyone doesn't have it like how I have it. You know, even like none of us grew up rich, right? But I started realizing like, yo, as I got older, like, yo, damn, I got raised from a good family because I went to other people's homes and I'm like, oh man, this is bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, but I'm glad that I did that. I'm glad I had to go through that for me to see the other side, you know? And so I'll appreciate as I'm getting older, as I'm grinding, as I'm, you know, going through it to make it to that level of success. I'll appreciate each level that I'm going on to reach that high pinnacle. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm gonna do? If I get rich and if I get like rich like that and I have kids, I'm gonna set it up to where my kids have to go to like a 3rd or 4th world country and help out the Greenpeace initiative for like 10 years. And then when they do a full decade of that, then they come back and get the money.
Well, I like it.
That's a little extreme, but I get the point.
I like it.
Niggas gotta go on a fucking world, a poverty-stricken world tour like Batman, so he could come back and have that hard exterior to become Batman when he get back.
Right.
That type of shit. Because, yo, man, look. Like, for example, Lucario and myself, we've been grinding for decades.
Exactly, right?
And we're still not even rich. Like, we're doing great, bro.
Right.
We're not rich, bro, at all.
Right.
But I'm so appreciative. Why? Because niggas been grinding for so long.
Right. And we see how the work equates to the success. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
and I would not want to take that opportunity away from my nephew or my kids if I have any. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because the life, this thing called life, bro, if you don't understand and appreciate this, like certain things like hard work and the fact that it could always be worse. And the fact that because as bad as you think you got, like Kaleem said, you know, we grew up a certain way. You go to somebody else's crib, you're like, oh shit, I thought I had it bad. You know what I'm saying? So man, look, it's a very interesting topic, and you know, I'm sure there's some rich people out there like that. They like you know, like I said, nigga, fuck all that. I want my kids in private jets and private schools, and you know what I'm saying. I want my kids only knowing the best. Nigga, live and die only knowing the best. I don't give a fuck. Right. And that's cool. That's cool if that's what you want to do. But remember, at the heart of it, there's a good possibility that your kids is gonna grow up to be bitch ass niggas. But
exactly. Facts. I feel like parents should start doing this thing where like every month, at least once a month, they just randomly like slap their kid in the back of the head and like you don't tell them when it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But they always got to be on alert. You know what I mean? It'll teach them like, yo, anything can happen at any time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a reminder. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Listen, bro. I still do open neck with my son. No, out of nowhere though. Like I don't know if you remember open neck. You know what I mean? Clapping back all the time, bro. Like just to do it, just to mess rotations all the time. You know what I mean? Like, no, man. But now we all make great points, man. It is about balance, you know. And then to Kadeen's point, man, today, you know, you got to have a different type of outlook and have different ways to teach people. And the truth, and to your point, Miles, I mean, to put everything in perspective on the panel, and me and Kadeen could attest to this, because you know, Miles and Lakar is a little bit older. Man, they've been grinding from when we was kids, like, you know what I mean, with the little albums, you know what I mean, like the modeling. We was going to acting shows when, you know what I mean, when it's like we auditions come through, like they've been grinding since they've been grinding. So like that was a generation of we could just watch them and see how to grind. This generation is a little bit different. I mean, you got to talk through everything. So I would say this generation, you got to have conversations with kids, like really, hey, 1 + 1 is 2, and how I got this is that. You know what I mean? It's a different generation.
So if 1 + 1 is 2, how does that make you feel?
Oh, shit.
Oh man, that's a good point though, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, good topic. Good topic, Rashidi. And always remember, guys. You know, y'all want to get y'all money right. You know, life insurance, credit repair, whatever y'all want. Kaleem and Rashidi, www.rktappraisals.com, 973-420-5028. You know what I'm saying? I think Kaleem is more in the life insurance side of things. And Rashidi, he does a lot more with the budgeting and the credit cards. But either way, man, get at any one of these fellas to get shit popping. All right, guys. You know, get your money right. You know, if you don't give a fuck and you don't care if your next generation grows up to be bitch ass niggas, get your life insurance popping so you can leave them some money with the death benefit. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, man. Get it going. All right. So yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. And you know, that's it, man. Let's go.
Yeah. Any last words I gotta say before we wrap it up?
Nah, man, I'm good. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Sir. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Remember, pass these videos along to your friends, enemies, whoever. You understand what I'm saying? So we could keep growing the channel and get the shit cracking. All right. All right. So we will holler at y'all later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We go.